Hello again, back for more Is It Shit? This time we're looking at something from Pulsar Modular, not to be confused with Pulsar. This is Pulsar Modular, and they have asked us to take a look at their P19 Igloo. So let's find out. Is it? Yeah, so Pulsar Modular are back. Do you remember they did the tape thing a little while ago? That was pretty good. They did the APR sidecar thing. They're all kind of, a lot of them are really, really good. So was quite interested to see what this is all about, and was then a bit shocked when I saw the interface, because it's very different from the tape thing they did and the API sidecar, in that this thing looks nothing like any piece of hardware you've ever seen. It's a bit, whoa, it's a bit overwhelming. First of all, I need to point out that there are two modes. Top right, you can click, it normally opens up in full mode. You can click that and it goes to easy mode, which is way more easy on the eye and easier to get your head round. And if you're going to get it, start there, start using it like that. Once you've got to know it like that, it's much easier to move on to the full mode, where there are a hell of a lot of controls. Anyway, let's get into it. First of all, let's talk about it a little bit. So they do a plugin called P19 Abyss, and that is a very cool looking compressor. Kind of looks a lot like a mastering compressor, and it's an RMS based design, so suits mastering applications. This is based on that design, but this is a peak compressor design, not RMS, so different beast. Anyway, let's get into it. As you can see from the interface, it's crazy busy. So I'm going to need my bins on to go through this, because there's a lot of it. It's complicated. Okay, let's start anywhere. Top left. We've got the threshold. Let's start there. So that obviously sets the level where the compression comes in. We've then got the attack slider on the left, and we've got the release slider on the right. The little step thing between it, if you click on that, it switches the attack and release to be in continuous mode rather than stepped mode. That's kind of nice. We've got, what else have we got? We've got the input gain down the bottom left. We have got the bias for the transformer biasing next to that. Then back up the top, we've got the linking channels left and right, and it can be stepped or continuous again by clicking on the little step thing. The overload is basically, it's like extra compression, hyper compression. That's what that adds. And then that whole section below it is sort of part of it. So you've got the side chain, which allows you to, take the bottom end out of triggering the compressor. You've then got the feel button, which basically changes what the side chain is doing slightly. Bit strange, but interesting. Nice to have it. You've then got the soul button, which basically gives the whole thing a signature sound. It's a bit of box tone, or if you take it off, it's just pure digital. And then you've got a look ahead. So analyzes the signal before it gets to the compressor, just to give the compressor a chance to not suddenly react, or to react in time if something is coming. Interesting. Already, that's a lot. Let's move over. So we have got where it says PSI, or pressure. It alters the compression behavior, similar to moving it between a FET or a VCA or a diode or a Verimute. So by moving that around, it gives you the flavor of those different styles of compressors. You've then got the ratio. We all know what the ratio does. That's nice and easy. To the right, you've got the knee. Again, we understand the knee. We've then got the makeup. Next to the makeup, we have got, between the PSI and the knee, we've got the feel button. That slightly changes how ratio works. Again, interesting, nice to have it. We've got a mix control, that's cool. What else have we got? We've got a very little control next to the mix, which says out. That is basically a trim for the output. We then have this dynamics slider underneath the meter, and that adjusts the sensitivity for sudden peaks. So quite often heavy transients will cause pumping. This allows you to sort of get around that. It's quite nice. I like it. It it's interesting we don't see it on many other things unless it's just given another name. But yeah, I've never seen that before. I like it. The VU meter is quite interesting. You can flick it between showing the RMS, showing the peak, and showing the gain reduction compression. Bottom right, you can scale the plugin, and clicking on the S saves it for that particular instance. If you want it a particular size for that particular one, you can click S. Quite like that. If you hold down Shift while you're adjusting the input, it will auto gain with the makeup. Again, that's quite cool. So yes, we've got the controls across the top. So top left, that arrow pointing that way, that is just bypass. Interesting, it looked like undo to me to begin with, but no, that means bypass, which I guess that arrow is bypassing the dot, so that makes some kind of sense. You've got phase invert, you've got an external sidechain button. The hammer has like a few different levels when you click on it. That is just like extra full-on compression. There are lots of options for full-on compression. Really interesting. HW is hardware crosstalk. I mean, interesting. People are going a bit mad now with what they're modeling and stuff. So you can add crosstalk. In other words, left signal ending up in the right signal ending up in the left a little bit. Interesting. Sub basically is a high pass set at 20 hertz, I believe. OS is oversampling. I think that's it. Damn, that's a lot of stuff in it. I mean, that's a very, very highly spec'd, so much extra stuff going on compressor. Let's talk a little bit about how it sounds. I mean, you'll see from the demo at the end, it's very twitchy. It's quite easy for it to get away from you and to start doing stuff that is all too much. So yeah, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but it's really fun. It can do some extreme stuff. It can really squash the life out of things, or it can do some quite subtle stuff. Could be good for pretty much anything to do with drum buses. It could be good just drums generally. I think probably bass it would really work on. Good for mastering from the point of view in that it's got some interesting features. That thing that stops it pumping, I quite like that. It's a bit crazy. It will probably work on almost anything if you're prepared to spend the time dialing it in. Demo, 40 days. Can't argue with 40 days. That's a lifetime, so you can have a good old play with it. If you decide you want to buy it, the full price is $169, which is quite a chunk of money for any compressor, really. Of the software variety. However, it's on sale at the moment for $143. It's a little bit of a discount. Am I reading that right? It is 169 down to 143. That wasn't 569. No, 169 down to 143. Star rating. I'm going to go 3. You might think it deserves more, but I think the price, it's up against such a lot of other competing products. This is very well spec'd, and I understand that is a good thing. However, the GUI and the fact that there's so much to it, it's going to be interesting to see if anyone uses it very much. It's one of those things, it's great and it does some cool stuff, but wanting to click on it and to use it and to dial it in when we've got so many tools for specific jobs, it's a little bit overwhelming, and I think that makes it a little bit difficult. So yeah, 3 stars, definitely not shit though, sounds fantastic. You'll see from the demo at the end, really nice compressor. Anyway, go and check it out for yourselves, listen to the demo, download an actual demo, try it for 40 days. Anyway, that's all for now. So if you could like the video, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that really, really helps. We're over 9,000 now, aiming for 10,000 this summer. Come on, we can do it. You can help. What else have we got? We've got the Instagram Studio Life 101. There's the website with the top 5 plugins. There's a bunch of courses and a whole bunch of other stuff on the website. Go and check it out, and I will see you soon. Adios.
saying words in my head, filling my mind with these images, yeah. And it's the way that you look at me, makes me feel like I can't breathe. It ain't right, right, right. It ain't right, right, right. It ain't right. Oh no, it ain't right, right, right. It ain't right, right, right. It ain't right. Oh no, you're calling my